What else we got? That's important to get out there?
News.
Label
Oh,
mates.
hey! Oh, let me put my code in. Talk, you guys.
We have a new label mate, a new Joe.
Are we gonna get Spotify chains?
I think a richer Joe, but he's here and he's entered the neighborhood. Joe Rogan is officially part of Spotify as of September 1st. You can get his podcast on Spotify and all the other platforms. Come the end of the year, it will be exclusively on Spotify, audio and video, which I thought was the more interesting part, that video will be on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
There will be no more YouTube for Joe Rogan.
They haven't launched any video stuff officially yet, have they?
Not that I've seen. No.
I haven't seen any Spotify video.
No, I know they were running tests on it. But just knowing the value of Joe Rogan's YouTube channel what that brings, that's a crazy deal. No YouTube Premium? Peasant. Wait, did they pay for this ad? Is this you trying to get some extra bread on the side like Sophia?
How many ads do they have in here?
Yeah, you're Joe Fia. Get you trying to get the extra deals.
Get out of here.
Stop dating Peter Nelson.
Stop dating Peter.
There we go. All right, go ahead.
No, get your
Every
short
time I'm
intro
doing anything on the computer, Rory's whole focus goes to my computer.
No, because I'm trying to anticipate what you're going to do.
It's
I gave
only
the intro.
here to be paired with what you were doing. So why do you stop while I'm
you
trying
want me to repeat
while I'm
everything
trying
I just
to
said?
add? No, I want you to continue your conversation. You were going somewhere, and I'm trying to produce.
I'm trying to get you guys to react. I gave you the whole entire spiel of what the fuck was going on. React.
Play Joe's his audio from his announcement.
Joe Rogan shit?
Yeah. Play it over that.
Now coming to the Spotify podcast game.
It's a big deal. Y'all was
You've
scared,
seen him on YouTube.
Park's scared. He got to guard that nigga.
Yeah.
Parks, you got to
You've
guard.
seen him on the UFC.
Nigga, Parks 40.
Fear Factor. Nah, it was a
You've
show.
seen him on Fear
What was
Factor.
it, News Radio? Was that the,
What he started on?
yeah.
I'm
Chappelle
joking.
show?
This is a big deal.
It is. It's huge.
Really big deal. Joe. Hey. Multi-billion. It should sound hard with the beat.
It does.
He sound like he coming to do work. I ain't gonna hold you.
This should have been the original.
Look out, Billy. Jamel Shamel. Budden Schmudden.
Just shit on Bill Simmons.
Only
Right
one
after the
Rogan can be Hogan.
You like this shit.
Which Joe will steal the show? All right. I'm having too much fun. Look at Judd. Fuck out of here, Judd. Oh, Mike fucking lies on TV. The fucking pizza guy, huh?
He wasn't digging the pizza story?
Listen, man.
I can't believe that's what they
Yeah.
landed
I
on.
cannot believe.
I know who really rang. I know what they ordered. I know what they really ordered that night. Yeah, y'all call it.
Why is Mike on TV lying?
Listen,
Back to Joe. Come on, we'll get the
Yeah,
mic in a
yeah.
minute. That's your man. Put the cape down. Put it back in your pocket.
chilling.
Look at you, because I know you got the portable cape.
Not at all. Chilling.
No, Maul was there and ate the pizza with him, and in fact got food poisoning as well.
Yeah, Maul ate the
I
pizza
delivered the
that
pizza.
Mike spit on.
Yeah, I delivered.
That Mike spit on.
All right, Joe Rogan, exclusively on Spotify, but on other platforms as well. At least for a year of the term. And then the video and audio becomes a Spotify exclusive and Spotify only.
Not even a year. 6 months.
Spotify's stock has gone up
Went up 7.7%.
because Rogan is the fucking man. This is a really, really, really big announcement. Rogan is the shark. Rogan is the shark. My initial thought was my initial thought was, damn, I don't really know why Rogan would do something like this. My very next thought was, oh my God. Oh, no. I'm sorry. My first thought was, damn, I don't even want to know the numbers attached to this. And my second thought was, damn, I have to find out the numbers attached to this.
Yeah, I was
No,
in the same boat.
we should know those.
Yeah.
In the same boat.
Because they put out these headlines that steal the show, but they don't give us the piece that we really want. Even when they announced Bill Simmons shit, the announcement of how much money he got came later. Rogan said his podcast had 190 million downloads per month last year.
Downloads, by the way.
Per month.
Downloads.
Per month.
Downloads. That's the very key word right there.
If you get 190
Not streams,
million
not
downloads
views.
in the next 5
Downloads.
years, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to congratulate you and big you up.
You get that per month.
He's getting that per month. I don't think there's any doubt of who Rogan is and what he does in this space.
Man, where's the download farms? I call bullshit.
Think he got the streaming farms
Come
going?
on, fam.
He got to.
We know they cancel it after one credit card orders a certain amount. We learned that this week.
Oh, we did learn that.
6ix9ine or Doja Cat. Which one is it?
They just threw out a lot of shit to confuse you even more. But we'll get to that Billboard shit in a second.
But no, this is one of those deals they'll never publicly announce what those numbers were.
No.
This isn't the $90 million Nike contract. No, this is some other shit that will not be announced.
The video's added, so I have to assume that this is well above 500. That's a guess. I haven't spoken to anybody. I have no inside information. This sounds like that type of deal.
Well, how long do you think, years-wise, his contract is?
3,
3?
guessing.
I think he said it was longer than 3, right?
He said multi-year. He didn't say specific.
Yeah, he just said multi-year. My guess was 5 if they were doing video.
You know it's a lot because we all of us out there just naturally assumed that Rogan was too big of a shark to even entertain anything that anybody ever had to say to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely,
And we do know that Spotify, as of late, has been owning properties when they purchase. Like that part is in the articles when they come out.
right.
This one, Joe Rogan makes specifically clear that this is still a licensing deal, and I own it, and nothing about my show is changing.
Right.
So this deal is just very unique. Congratulations to Joe Rogan if he's doing it. I have to assume it's something that he wants to do,
Right.
and I'm anxious.
I'm curious if he takes down with that licensing deal, if that was a factor that the whole back catalog will be available still on YouTube and Apple Music and SoundCloud and all that other stuff. I'd be interested to see if he takes all that down.
He did say that he would still have clips on YouTube, but as far as the video in whole, you would have to go to Spotify's platform to see that.
Interesting.
On their in-app vodcasts.
Which I think is a good.
Shut up, Paul.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, but don't say that like that, and then do your neck like that.
They call it vodcasts.
Vodcast.
All right, never mind.
Did you want to be a VJ when you were a kid?
Never.
Well, you are now.
Mo wanted to be hits in the streets.
Look what Joe remember. Why does your brain retain that show? Why does your brain? And that's my guy. Shout out to Hits. Hits in the streets. He was ahead of his time. He was doing all the shit niggas is doing on YouTube. On
Yeah, no,
IG
it's true.
Now.
You're right.
That's all he was doing.
You're
back then.
absolutely right. Shout out to him. Yeah, what do y'all think? React.
I mean, that changes the entire podcast game to me, at least.
How? How so?
The fact that
Tell us more.
the biggest, of course, Spotify had already announced that they were looking to get into podcasting. We see that they have a whole podcast division now.
No, that's their focus.
The fact that you're going after I don't even want to say arguably, the number one podcaster right now to do a whole licensing deal exclusively, like this is
Not even.
This
the
is
hottest
really
right
big
Now,
of-
the hottest
Nothing
since
to
podcast is
nothing
started.
to argue.
wasn't sure if you were going to say Mark Maron did Obama.
But I don't know, man. I'm on a different side. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like I get it. Joe Rogan's super dope and all that. But I think a lot of the times when I look at podcasts like this is because a lot of these dudes are guest driven shows.
Can you get more in the mic? Pause.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
they're like guest driven shows, which means like a lot of their shows are based upon who the guest is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you have Elon Musk on,
I don't think that's the case with Joe Rogan.
Here's the thing.
I'm not saying he can't pull in a large audience by itself. I'm speaking in terms of what we do and what he does. It's two different things.
It's not the same.
It's not. It's
No,
two
definitely
different.
not.
It's two different audiences. I think that people tune in. They actually hate when we have guests here.
Right.
Like, and I think that's the ace in our hand is that people are tuning in for us. They're not tuning in just because.
No, we have a whole bunch of aces.
No, I get that,
I want
but
to
I'm
be
just saying,
clear
like,
on that.
this
I don't want
deal-
you to think because I'm bigging up Joe Rogan.
I
and
salute
that
Joe Rogan.
We don't have aces.
I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan.
I wasn't
wasn't
even-
comparing.
I wasn't even thinking about us in this
Yeah.
deal.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying
word.
because people have been at.
But no, you have
at
to.
us all day saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, how do you
You
guys
gotta have
I
to.
saw
feel?
the haters.
How do you? No, not hate, but this is
Nah,
how do y'all
I'm
I
feel?
saw
feeling
some
it.
haters though.
How does it affect?
It's over for y'all.
Y'all moving forward, and I'm like, I don't think it affects us in any ways. Really, I think it's eye opening for. I'm gonna speak for me. I'll let y'all speak. It's eye opening.
Wait, there's. I'm sorry, Mo. There's hate in becoming number 2 in a pool of over 1 million.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
People hate on anything.
People hate on anything, Joe. You
No.
know that.
I know what you're saying, but of course there's hate.
Yes,
Have
absolutely.
you been on the internet?
Yes, there's hate, and that's what I'm saying. I'm just speaking to that. Just let people know that we salute Joe Rogan first and foremost.
Absolutely.
But we're not. It doesn't change what we do here because it's two different.
I thought
types
we
of-
saluted like all podcasters.
We do.
We do.
But we have to say it.
And Joe, there's hate when you're number one and become less number one-ish, even when you're still number one.
Right.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
fall off and still be number one, and they'll still be like, yo, his shit is trash.
Right.
It's over for him. Like, nah, I don't know if you noticed, I've been number one for quite some time.
I disagree with that a little bit, only because there are so many different outlets now. Mm-hmm. So, and none of them are reporting actual numbers. Like, this is the death of us seeing Joe Rogan numbers.
Yeah.
That's over with. Now, when the report comes out that says Joe Rogan is number 1, we'll assume it to be true. But we will no longer be able to see
No,
that's the
definitely
case.
not.
Number 1.
We never saw all his numbers
And
either,
number
by the way.
2, his YouTube numbers are ridiculous.
Insane.
If
But
we
that's not all his numbers, though. That's what I'm saying. There's more. His audio we never saw.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, 1, we won't get numbers anymore, and 2, there's a number 1 somewhere, everywhere.
For sure.
So that's why it's just a little like this is great that Spotify is making these types of moves. They've been doing that. If you've been watching with Gimlet, with Bill Simmons, with Parcast, with they've been on this wave and they haven't abandoned ship.
Yeah.
It's good to see that they're progressing in that.
And that it's working and podcasting is lucrative. That also showed me with this. All right, we're
Yeah,
willing
that's
to
why
invest in someone that is going to cost a shit ton of money because we believe that this is here to stay. This isn't a fad.
Right. This
Yeah,
is-
for the people that are hating on that, you would have to listen. If you want to look at me as Dak Prescott, I have zero issue with that. When Patrick Mahomes gets the bag, I'm throwing a party.
Yeah.
Like for me, this raises value. The same way the pandemic raises value.
It raises value. It raises leverage.
And listen, for some of us, let's be really excited that now there's a new audience on Spotify.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the other thing with some of these exclusive deals. You're working within the parameters of the platform.
That goes back to what I
Joe
always say.
Rogan is now bringing the bad bitches to the club. That's just a term, a figure of
No.
speech.
But that goes back to what I say. When I say, when big artists drop their album, I wouldn't run from that release date. Put my album out too, because while
Yeah.
all the Beyonce fans are there to get B's album, guess who else's album is sitting right there?
Right.
Mine. I'm gonna get some of those listeners gonna be like, who's this?
Yep.
And just click on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing. This is actually a big moment for I think all podcasters.
I agree.
Added
Definitely.
to
agree.
the community.
Every podcaster should be celebrating the move and trying to find out how much money he got.
For sure. Yeah, because even people that are our listeners were like, yeah, you guys I didn't really fuck with podcasting up until y'all. I've found a lot of new podcasts because I've noticed I liked podcasting.
Right.
So now you go into the podcast section of Spotify and you have the biggest podcast there. All right, let me see what else they got.
And don't get it fucked up. Narcissistic Joe is still taking some credit for this happening.
Because of the name?
Joe?
Yeah.
No, I built this city.
On rock and roll?
You fucking right. You fucking right. Listen, something happened between this relationship because I'm positive this isn't the first time that Spotify approached Joe Rogan.
Sure not.
Oh no.
Of course not.
I think
Everybody has
everybody's been
approached-
approaching Joe
everybody-
Rogan for the last
yeah.
X amount of years, and I think he's just
I
been
might
on
have
some.
approached Joe Rogan for
Yeah, word.
Hey,
And
what's up,
I
fam?
think he's just been
Yo.
like, nah, I'm cool. No, I'm
What's the
cool.
ticket?
There's no point.
Yeah.
Why would I do this? I'm not entertaining any of it.
Yeah.
And something changed there.
Yeah.
Something changed there.
Well, I think Joe Rogan always had obviously the leverage, and I think that this is probably something where, like, we don't know the deal, we don't know the specifics, but this probably was something that he can say, you know what, all right, this is solidified for however many years, so now I can also focus on something else now.
Well, that's the other thing too, Mo. When you were bringing up the haters and people that might group us in or feel like this is a bad thing, be clear when some of these announcements happen. While we're in the same space, there are levels to this. There's levels to this. That's one of the reasons that I didn't reply to the fuck shit last week. Not because I didn't have anything to say and not because shit was all peaches and cream. It's just because it's levels to this. So when the Bill Simmons shit came out, and then when the fucking Joe Rogan shit comes out, Joe Rogan is in year whatever of his business model. Mm-hmm. Bill Simmons is in year whatever of his business model. Mm-hmm. Both of these gentlemen are on their umpteenth network and situation.
Right.
They both not only are extremely deserving of these bags, but they've earned these bags.
Absolutely.
This is the space that they are supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
I put an album out in 2015.
16.
16.
Right.
Like we're in year 4 of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why
2 of a professional situation, a corporate licensing situation.
Right.
So I don't necessarily view it the same because there are levels. There are levels. The GoDaddy shit is important for us to highlight because there are levels. Say Vaughn got a podcast. There are levels. Brandon has a podcast. There are levels to this. Mm-hmm. And it's important to pay attention at what's going on at each of those levels if you aspire to be at each of those levels. That is why I bring those things up here for the people that are a little confused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get it. Makes sense. But this is a big moment for all podcasters.
Yeah, let me round of applause
Yeah.
for Joe Rogan.
The Joe Rogan experience.
And Spotify.
And Spotify.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's a hell of a
And specifically,
W.
all the ones that are either exclusive to Spotify or joined the Spotify network. To Joe's narcissism thing, I know we say that, but there's a point there. Yeah, I think Spotify saw all their numbers at the end of last year and going on now and said, all right, we'll invest.
This is a thing.
This is it, yeah.
This
So
is a thing.
I think everyone that was on Spotify, period, it just so happened that we were number 1, contributed to all of this.
Right.
For sure.
We have a business here now at Spotify. So let's go get the biggest fucking podcast that we can.
If you couldn't tell that this was a business before, the global pandemic should to add to that thinking. Like I have thought this a lot while I've been at home. We are really fortunate to be working in the digital space
Hell yeah.
where while there are some issues, you work around them
Work around.
It's a business that's pandemic proof to some degree.
to some degree.
Yeah.
To some degree, yeah. We're really fortunate for that.